GSL.
GSL boys. Esports boys.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so that match was pretty bad, huh?
No, it wasn't bad, but it was certainly one-sided.
Yeah, it was extremely
Game one was cool, actually.
Like,
I enjoyed game one. Just seeing the Lings run by, shut down the CC.
I suppose. I don't think you can argue that game two is bad, right?
Well, game two, there just wasn't much to it, right?
Yeah.
It was an all-in that was just spotted immediately. It was kind of, the game was done before the battle even started, but of course, can't blame Gumiho for following through with it, but
yeah,
not exactly a crazy game.
No, certainly not.
Excuse me.
Well, now it's going to be Rain going up against Panic. Rain, definitely one of the best PvPers in the entire world. Panic, thing is, he's actually a very, very good player. This is not his first time in Code S. He was in that crazy, awesome, fun group last year. It was that like Sulky and Ruin, where Ruin made the S that stood for Sulky in the middle of the map with pylons. And like, that was I will never forget that day. It was a great day. But I believe Panic was in that group, got last place, unsurprisingly. Here, I think it'll pretty much be the same.
Panic is a solid player, but I mean, this is the most prestigious league in the entire world.
Well,
and this is a very tough group. It's just even for that. So I'll be surprised if Panic doesn't come out last here, but crazier things have happened. So we'll see what the results will be in just a little bit here. The map lineup will be King Sejong Station, merry-go-round, and the final map, if we get to it, will be Overgrowth.
Well, those are the three maps that we're going to see the most all season long. You're already used to them, so stay used to them.
I don't see Rain dropping a game here, Artosis. Rain's got PvP down so well.
Yeah. I want to see how good Panic is, because there's a way you have to play against players like Rain and Zest. You have to play like trap plays, where you make one weakness in your build and go all out.
Compensated for some kind of good timing, something like that.
Yeah, exactly. If he does that, maybe.
All right, guys, let's go to our PvP between Rain and Panic. In the bottom right, Artosis' favorite Protoss.
My Insanity Rain.
I mean, him and Zest, really. I would say that like Zest just slightly more. I like
oh, Zest.
I mean, I love them both. They're like my children. Like, I won't tell them which one I like more, but I have a favorite.
I won't tell them which one I like more. His opponent over here in the upper left, in the blue, the underdog.
MVP Panic.
Speaking of children that I like the best, it is my baby's 3rd birthday today.
Oh yeah, happy birthday to Baby Tosis.
Time flies, man.
That's crazy.
I gotta be careful now. Yeah, she's 3, because like when I was 3, that's like when my permanent memory began, where like I basically remember pretty much everything since 3.
Yeah.
So I gotta be careful now. I gotta be good.
This is, yeah, you gotta be careful with that, man.
Not that I wasn't before. It's just like
you were reckless before. Then you're like, okay, well now she can remember this. I could.
Anyways, fun times.
Well, congrats, man.
Thanks. Turns out I can raise a child at the age of 3. See if I make it all the way to 18.
So we have 2 gases now being taken here for both players. Their builds are pretty synced up. PvP is the matchup that probably has the most build order options available, which makes it interesting. It's also one of the shorter matchups, although it can go to a very long game if both players solidify on the 2 base.
Very true.
Normally we see a long game, but the interesting thing about PvP is there's so many different ways to disguise builds, to hide tech, to do different a variety of different rushes. As we all know, Protoss, there's a lot of sneaky stuff they can do.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Wow.
That person gets 1 million GSL coins. Thank you for coming down.
That's a perfect sign.
He even spelled Tastosis right. A lot of people put an E in there. He knew.
There's no E.
He knew there's no E in Tastosis.
That would be unfair.
Yeah.
More letters from Tasteless than from Artosis. Screw that, man.
Yeah.
I got to be represented. All right. Both players actually going double gate here. And I think double gate is a great opener if you're one of the very best in the world, because it's like so safe against everything if you do it right. But when it's 2 gate versus 2 gate, it's kind of funny. Like, as soon as you scout these on 2 gates, which they're both going to do, Theoretically, you're supposed to put up a Twilight immediately.
Yeah, this is the better player doesn't use the gateways, even though they both made them.
Exactly. You skip it in lieu of quicker tech because you can't actually do a pressure because they will have as many units as you. So we'll see if they throw out Twilights right away. The thing is, you don't have to. You can do a different tech, but that's generally speaking the right answer.
Artosis, by the way, guys, is very sick today. He's
My voice sounds really weird,
right now, man.
My voice sounds really weird, right?
Well, your voice always sounds really weird, but I mean, right now it sounds
different.
Sick,
weird. Yeah, okay. Because inside my head, I'm like, oh my god, this sounds so weird.
No, you sound a little congested, but it's not bad.
Now this is kind of funny. It looks like he's still staying on course for a 3 gateway here by chronoing. Panic is by chronoing the warp gate. He may have just decided that he'll do this no matter what. But the thing is, by just skipping that a little bit, Rain will have just slightly fewer stalkers and a defensive position up a ramp and a possible Nexus cannon. So he won't be broken by this, and he'll have much quicker blink, which means that he should just win.
Well, let's see what happens, man.
I mean, StarCraft's never that simple, but theoretically speaking, that's what we're seeing
the way the
here.
builds are lining up here.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you have a peek right now from Rain here.
Well.
And he's going to see what Panic is up to.
Yeah, he's going to force some Stalkers to stay here longer, but he loses a Nexus Cannon because he has to basically warp home when those Stalkers stop him. So, you know, there's some give and take with what he's done with the Scout. But he wanted to see basically if there's going to be DT tech.
And it's actually 5 kills on that before it warps back home.
That's pretty insane. In fact, Rain, wow, look at that. That is actually retreating there. It looked like he could have gotten that Mothership Core, but he wanted to be careful.
Okay, he's coming up here again.
Perfect timing by Rain here. Gets that Mothership Core, starting to pick off these Stalkers as well. Very hard to micro under there, of course. Good micro by Panic, though.
Yeah, Panic's starting to close in here. And we see another one of Rain's Stalkers get picked off. The Stalkers here from Panic just continuing to come forward. It seems like just barely, though, Rain is hanging on. He's gone behind the Nexus. He's using the buildings up in the front to just get in the way here. It makes it a little bit trickier to actually get down in here. Blink is almost done for Rain, which is going to be huge.
He's got to keep as many Stalkers alive as possible to Blink, because if your opponent has way more Stalkers than Blink finishes, they still win. But if you have anywhere near as many, you will kill him. But this is
my God, he needs to get that. He needs to get that pylon. He gets it.
Wow.
That's 1 unpowered gateway, which is huge, considering Panic's already up in Stalkers. And this is when everything is going to come out to try to defend right now. He gets the first Mothership Core. He's going to have to blink away. Nice control here.
Whoa!
God, Rain.
That was really
Rain
well
is
done.
so good. Is it going to be enough, though? That's the question.
Sure. Well.
Rain.
He's got to get some more blink cooldowns.
Why are you so handsome, Rain?
Well, it looks like he will end up holding with more probes. So that's actually pretty awesome. And that's the end of the rush. It became a lot closer than it would have been because he chose to scout with the Mothership Core because he was afraid of DTs. Because normally what you do is you throw up the Twilight right away, then you decide DT or Blink.
Yeah.
He chose Blink, so he had to check.
And the problem is that the player usually can't hold off both of those, right? You either need to have enough tier 1 raw units, Stalkers in this case, to just hold off, an aggressive Blink play, or you need a detection. So, so it's a bit of a gamble for the person defending.
Exactly. And well, Rain, he still had that edge because he is sitting defensively. He did kill 5 probes with that Mothership Core, and that's slowed Panic down significantly. We see Panic here. Like, what's his plan? He's just making Stalkers. He's gonna make Stalkers. That's it against Blink Stalkers. That's a hard strategy to win with.
Yeah, that's going with a unit that just doesn't have its ability against the same unit that does.
Well,
I gotta say, Rain's micro back there was absolutely beautiful.
Yeah,
he knew exactly when to blink, and not just when, he knew where to blink, too. Just to blink in the direction that would draw the Stalkers.
Because he was
to make them move for a second, stop the attack animation.
Yeah. Very well said.
To mess up the rhythm of Stalkers firing is pretty huge.
Yeah.
So we see those Stalkers of Rain now coming up, and we had a pylon placed there from Panic to block the expansion hatchery. You can see already Rain was going to be at 400, but ended up making more Stalkers instead.
And he sees a lot of Stalkers. So if I'm Rain here,
I
think for sure you're trying to go Blink.
Yeah.
But It's pretty hard to count gas in a situation like this. Like, he hasn't gone blink. He actually has enough that he could have, but he's just skipped it to try to get even more stalkers out.
And with the Immortals here as well,
oh, man.
I just don't see this going well for Panic.
Yeah.
He just does not. He is getting more and more countered here.
Yeah. Like, Immortal plus Blink Stalker against regular Stalker? I don't even know, because either of those beat regular Stalker, right?
Right. Well, his Panic Stalkers are coming up now.
Well, he knows he can't just kill that Nexus. He has to do better than that. Oh,
okay,
no,
and
never,
Nexus
ever.
Cannon activated here. Look at this micro there. Rain can blink away with the weaker Stalkers. This is such a one-sided game so far.
Yeah.
I mean, wow. And you can only, yeah, just now Panic starts up the Twilight Council.
Well, I guess the good news is if he delays Rain from taking his expand and gets blink done, then he has something going for him. But no, he's now lost too many Stalkers. This is, against a player like Rain, this is past point of no return.
Yeah, that's going to be a GG. I was wondering if he's going to try to drag it out. I mean, any player would know at that point in time, all hope is lost. You see your opponent's Robotech is already done, and he's got Immortals out, and he already had Blink before you, and you're only just now starting your Twilight Council. It's only just beginning to build, so you can Blink later on, or tech from that later on. And Panic, understandably, pretty discouraged right there.
Yeah, well, he chose to just go with the strategy he had pre-planned, and I mean, the thing is about PvP, no matter what you're doing, the more information you gain about your opponent, there's different little things you do to your build to make it stronger against what he's doing, or theoretically stronger, you know, based on what you see. And he's not adapting at all. So Rain actually has to be very careful about that, because someone who won't adapt will do something that you deem as incorrect and you won't be ready for, which is why he scouted with Mothership Core, to make sure that there wasn't something crazy going on.
Rain 1 doing what Rain does best, being very safe. Just cutting enough corners to be in a lead, but never really in an area where he's at risk of dying.
Yeah. Well, merry-go-round is next. 3-player map. Do you scout earlier? Do you not scout at all? A few things you have to keep in mind. Yeah,
I'm curious to see how Rain plays this. We may see something similar from Panic, a very specific build he's going to try to do perfectly to come in and crush his opponent.
Well, I don't know. I think that Rain, I think the only thing that would be wrong is a fast expansion. I don't think you should do that.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Don't fast expand.
Yeah.
No need to. I mean, as long as Rain plays a solid game, he should win, right? So just scout, defend, counter. All right, guys, game number 2 here between Rain and Panic has begun.